Many of you may know the false prophet Timothy Dixon. We've talked about him several times. But just in case you're new to the channel and you're unfamiliar with this guy, listen to the doomsday prophet. Take a listen.
It shall come to pass surely, saith the Lord, that my hand shall stretch across the United States of America, and I shall weed out, saith God, the tares from among the wheat. My hand shall be swift in judgment. I called you, but you would not come. You of high places, you that holds the place of leaderships across this country, you that holds the judges' positions that has failed me, know that I, the Lord, I require of thee tonight. I require of thee, I require thy soul of thee.
See, that's him with his doomsday style prayers or whatever you want to call them. But before we go any further, guess what I have? You guys that's been following me, you already know. The notes. The notes are back. I had to jot a few things down so that I did not forget about these points. Because doomsday prophet, self-appointed prophet, Timothy Dixon, is at it again. He made a video that when I woke up yesterday morning and I saw that, I said, oh, I got to hurry, I got to record this before he takes it down. And it's gone. So I don't know if YouTube has pulled it down or he took it down. But he's then went to a whole, some of these so-called prophets and these people out here, they're losing their minds. Actually, I think they're becoming more delusional by the day. And he's running around with a staff like he's Moses. And I'm going to show you the video. And I want you to see, I'm going to show you a clip from the video because he's talking once again in the title of the video where it says some things. And then at the end of it, it says something, Biden is dead. And then there was a video he made a few days or maybe last week where it had a picture of Hillary on there. And I listened to the message and it was talking about all the first ladies, you better get your souls right or whatever, because basically the Lord is coming for you or so. And I was just like, why is it always, I don't understand. What's the obsession with Hillary for? The lady she's not president. She wasn't president. She ran. She's not even in political office right now. What's the obsession with these nationalists and these people, these false prophets and pastors out here? Why do they talk about that all the time? Explain to me. If you know, put it in the comments, please. But I want you to listen to the clip. I want you to listen to the clip and we'll come back. Just take a listen.
Bilangan siniang lupa. Mali biamotoso mariahari Cristi pensandolo. Mille rotori vi hisperianotas vi gräns mille corra. Hilaria. The Lord would speak to this nation. The Lord would speak to this people. Open up your ears and open up your eyes. Hear the word of the Lord that comes forth in this day and this hour. For the sifting has begun, saith the Lord of hosts. I shall go forth through the land, and I shall weed out. I shall weed out the evil that has fallen amongst the people. I, the Lord, I shall tear down the hosts of Satan's army that has stood up in this land. Nothing shall stop people. For I, the Lord, I'll move through Washington, D.C., and I shall take back the seats that's been stolen because of harvest is truly plenteous. The harvest is plenteous.
You see, with this babbling, this false tongue, where he's running around, walking around his living room or whatever with the staff is, I mean, who is he? Robin Bullock now? Remember Robin Bullock during the January 6th thing held his staff out towards the White House, the Capitol at that time, as if he was parting the Red Sea. And we can't forget about Kerr. She had the staff where she was slamming it around, throwing it around, and talking about getting rid of COVID at the time. Many of you might have seen that video. But what made me think that, this guy, where it's always more so in a forum, is talking about people's souls being required because things did not basically go the way you wanted. And in my notes I have right here, because this is what's sad. Are you this distraught about a politician who you wanted to win, but they lost, and you are willing to lie in the name of the Lord? Lie on God. To say that he told you this, told you that, because he's got plenty of false prophecies out there. He's one of them. They're all part of the group. I tell you, birds of the feather flock together. They all together. Him, Dutch Sheets, Hank Kunneman, Man the Grace. I mean, the names go on. They all are together. And him and his buddies. Are you that distraught that you are willing? You want to talk about requiring thy soul of thee and all of this talk? You know what? When you speak in the name of the Lord and lie on him, you know how dangerous that is? Man, I would be scared to death to get on a camera and be right here telling you guys, the Lord told me this and told you that, or even wishing doom and gloom. Because what I have on here is, if you ever noticed, this is what's sad and dangerous at the same time. The followers of these false prophets, the followers of these Timothy Dixons and all of these others that are out there, they support other false prophets. You'll see them. You'll get in the comments and look and see, and the people will say, well, hey, have you watched Amanda Grace's or Hank Kunneman's or Robin Bullock's latest video or Steve Schultz or whatever. I see it. They're all within these other people's videos. The followers, some of the followers, some of them are in some of these channels that you have to go through and see and scan through and take and see what they're talking about, because that teacher that the people are listening to, remember I tell you, some of these people are subtle. They're under the radar. They're more so the Troy Blacks. They come across as sincere and humble and all of that. And there may be some sincerity there, but they're frauds. They're lying in the name of the Lord. And then there's others out there that they're followers. I can guarantee you, all of the followers that follow people like Timothy and all of the others, they're subscribed all to the same people that's part of this dominionism, this nationalism, all of this wild, wacky stuff. They're all going to be subscribed. You can go through the channel. I can guarantee you they're subscribed to all of them. And they're not subscribed to any sound theological doctrine teachers. Everything is wacky. Stuff that we're 20, 30, 40 years ago, for those that grew up in the church or whatever, these types of people would have been tossed out long ago. So why Timothy Dixon is setting out here talking crazy and talking of souls being required and have a video where it says on there, Biden is dead or something to that effect. Unfortunately, you don't want to have to involve politics and messages and things like that, because the people will say, well, you're siding with this or you're siding with that. The bottom line is everybody has a soul. Everybody, Jesus loves everyone. And who do we think we are to set up as people, that we say we're a child of God, to look at somebody else because They belong to another party. They belong to whatever. They may not belong to nothing, but they just don't like the way that you think, talk, or your lifestyle as a Christian. Are you still supposed to wish death upon them? Wanting a death angel to come upon them? Man, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. And why Timothy Dixon? I have this in here as a sense of a little form of humor. I mean, Timothy Dixon, I know we can die at any time, all of us. But, I have on here, Timothy isn't no spring chicken himself. For those of you that might not know what that phrase means, those spring chicken, that means that basically you're not young. So when someone says you're not a spring chicken, oh, you ain't no baby. You old like a whole lot of other folks. So he can drop dead at any moment. But most of all, what the Bible say about the false prophets? Those lying in the name of the Lord. What did the Old Testament say about it? All these prophets, they are fortunate, these false prophets. Because if we were in Old Testament times, it would have been over long ago for all of them, where they sit up there and try to say, all of these things in the name of the Lord, shaming his name, and he ain't told them nothing. He's not going to sit up here and talk like that. He's not talking of, I'm requiring tonight thy soul of thee because my politician didn't win. That's a shame. It's sad. We're in such dangerous times right now. These people, these followers, is increasing. I'm seeing increasing. It's increasing more and more. These events that they're having, these little tours and conventions and whatever. There's one, Liberty Turnip Seed. She's another false prophetess. She calls herself an apostle now. She's off in Pakistan talking, supposed to be talking to the people out there, with some guy that brought her out there, and she supposedly has a word for these people. But she's a false prophetess out there. She done left the country. And see, that's what this stuff is going on. It's spreading worldwide. It's in your country. It's in your town, the false people. They're out there. The devil has placed them. I told you, he's restructuring for his counterattack. That's what he's doing. He's restructuring. And he's coming to a town near you. And if you ain't prayed up, if you ain't read your Bible, if you ain't studied and showed thyself approved, and search the scriptures to test these lying spirits and all of this stuff, you're going to find yourself trapped and in trouble. And you're going to find yourself wasted a whole lot of time and wasted your days away. What more of a tactic for the devil to sit there to get you distracted following crazy fairy tales from some of these people where they just have been dragging you out with stories and making excuses for prophecies that have not come to pass, and they're not going to come to pass. You know why? Because they are not sent by God. But, we'll continue to call it out on this channel, continue to speak about issues the church run away from. Maurice Braxton, Evangelism for God is the channel where we talk about Satan and talk about his dirty tactics and put him on the run. If you're new, consider subscribing and hit like, coming along for the journey, because we're going to continue to ride and give God the glory. So until the next video, take care. God bless.